Hey, enthusiasts, welcome to the episode 635 of the Salty Language podcast, also known as the Halloween Spanktacular 13. Ooh.
Dude, I didn't know it was spooky number 13.
It
Oh
is,
my.
yeah, and we're recording it after Halloween, so it reminds me of like the Simpsons, you know how Treehouse of Horror sometimes was on in November instead of putting it on the week before Halloween. They put it on the week after
Which
Halloween.
makes total sense.
You know? Yeah. I mean, I don't care. It's still
absolutely. Gotta watch Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love on Disney Plus is in the Simpsons gimmick is you can just watch, like, they have all the Treehouse of Horrors as a collection.
Nice.
So you can just go in and watch them. You don't have to like search each season for
sift
them.
through them like a loser.
Yeah. So, and there's still some I haven't watched. I've a while ago I started just from the beginning and just started watching them again, and enjoyed catching up.
I don't know.
I
haven't watched The Simpsons in a while because I feel like every season it's on, it gets a little worse. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm always...
Well, they've already done like thousands and thousands of jokes, It's like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, this well's got to dry up at some point.
You would think
but
so.
I am a fan of the Treehouse of Horror.
Me too. It's like I honestly haven't really watched The Simpsons much in the last I don't know how many years, but I always try to, tune in for that. Or if like now it's easier because it's on Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever like next day.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that was on and I can watch it.
Right.
So I think their Treehouse of Horror this year was like, I don't know, 97 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Redonkulous. So, and since this is a Halloween Spanktacular, I want to remind everybody that they should, and I'll have a link in the show notes, they should go listen to Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, as is our tradition, even though we can't play it because we'll for sure get taken down.
Well, we can't even get put up on YouTube, so it's fine.
That's true. You're right. Well, shit, I should have just thrown it in there anyway. No. But yeah, definitely go watch the video for it. If you haven't seen, that episode of, any episode of 30 Rock, they're all pretty good.
Classic.
But I just watched like right from the official 30 Rock YouTube account earlier, which is not the link I'm going to have in the show notes because the one I have in the show notes says it's the full song. So
you need the full song.
Yeah, because otherwise you only get like I read something somebody wrote underneath it that apparently it took like 3 days to build the set for it, and it's seriously a 7-second cutaway.
That's why you need the full song.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched the clip of that, and I forgot that that's the episode where Tracy Morgan's wife and him basically split, and one of his bodyguards gets I can't think of his name now. The intern. It's Jack McBrayer, but I can't think of his name on the show.
Shit. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember his name either.
But they get him to basically like flirt with Tracy Morgan's wife to make Tracy jealous. And he's just like, "Hey, I see you're single." He's like, I'm a good sex person. I do it all the different ways. Oh man, that was
classic.
Great.
Yeah. I love that show. Yeah.
Me too. I was actually thinking about it. I was like, like various shows to like go back and rewatch. It's like I kind of want to go back and rewatch that, but there's so much other stuff to watch.
Exactly.
I just
so
can't.
Much content, Brian.
So much
content.
Indeed, sir. So I guess let's kick it off with how was your Halloween?
Snowy.
Yeah, it was not great for trick or treating.
Pretty fucked up. I bought more candy this year, and then we had way less kids. Like I was throwing fistfuls of candy down our candy chute, and still we got a ton of candy.
Yeah, I heard that from a lot of people in various areas. I mean, Garrett talked about it too. Like he's out in Washington. It sounds like he had basically the same conditions or similar conditions to what we had, like in the 30s and like snow. And my mom usually loves handing out candy, so she can see all the kids' costumes and all that kind of stuff. And it was just too cold for her. So our neighbor was handing out candy. So she was just like, hey, here's a whole bunch of extra candy. Just give fistfuls out, basically.
Do it. Do it.
I didn't see very many kids around, so I don't think we had very many through here this time.
I guarantee I had more kids than you did, because it started off good. Yeah. But last year I bought a decent amount of candy, and we were out at 7:15. So I was like, fuck. So I bought more this year. You know, because it's like I don't like shortchanging the kids. You know, I genuinely like sitting out there and handing out candy and seeing the costumes, and you know, I got the spooky playlist going on the projector. It's a whole thing. We do a whole thing here. You know, and it's a little disappointing this year, Brian.
Yeah.
Although,
it was last year I think we had, I don't remember, it was somewhere between, I think my mom guesstimated about 70 to 100 kids, which is decent for here. Like when I first moved in down the street, that first year there, man, I had a bunch of kids on Halloween night. And then the next year we had like none.
Weird.
And and then after that it was a few. And it was, a lot of it was because all the people that lived around me, a lot of them worked nights or were older, and they just didn't give candy out.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you look down the street, you see one light, and you're like, it's not worth it to even walk down there unless like they're giving out full size bars.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. So, but you know, I don't know how many were here, you know, in the neighborhood yesterday, but I didn't see a lot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, it was like the last half hour. I think we got a couple stragglers. But it was basically because Logan, he worked, but he ended up coming by, you know, after he got off of work, and it was just basically him and I on the porches bullshitting, you know, waiting for the time to wind down, you know, jamming to my Halloween playlist.
Yeah. It always stinks too, because it's like, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, sweet, extra candy, but it's like, whatever, you can buy candy whenever, you know, if you really want it. It's like, you know, part of the thing is like giving the candy out. Yeah. You know, letting the kids, you know, and seeing some of the costumes some of the kids come up with, because some of the parents and the kids come up with some pretty
for sure, absolutely
outfits, you know. So
I mean, I had this little girl come up, and she was like little, and she was dressed as a chicken, which already great, but her candy bucket was one of those like chicken feeder buckets with all the spouts around it. And I was like, that. I was just like, oh my god, that is hilarious. I'm like, that's a great costume.
I like that she was a chicken too. That's just such a non-conventional costume. Right? You know, those are usually my favorite. Is the ones where it's that, also, or the homemade ones. The homemade ones are fun because they're either like a train wreck, you know, to where it's like, hey, put a trash bag around your neck, and okay, now you're a superhero.
Right, wrap yourself in tinfoil, Iron Man.
Yeah. Which, hey, I listen, you know, growing up poor, you know, definitely had plenty homemade costumes.
Oh, for sure.
So
that was the thing that got me this year, is because, you know, I get off work later now. Is like, normally I dress up. I was still in my work clothes until like 8:30 at night.
You were dressed up as a safety or quality control
quality technician.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because like I got home from work and I was like, all right, I had to run around the house and set up the projector and get the sound going, and by the time I got everything like set up, it was candy time. So I was like, oh shit, you know, I didn't even really eat dinner until way late. You know?
Right. I assume you're giving away all sorts of like edibles.
Oh, that's what everyone does, right? Yeah, if you watch the news. Yeah.
Yeah. God.
No sane person's going to give away their expensive drugs.
Right. And no drug dealer's going to either, because you're just giving it to random people.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Like, the kids are going to get home, and even if there were drugs, they're not going to know what house they got it from, most likely. You know? So it's like, there's zero reason for this to happen. And like you said, it's like a bag of gummies is like $25. You know? It's like, it's not like they're, you know, $3 like regular
right, exactly.
Like,
fucking
Jesus.
News. I had this little girl, though, that she was like little kid again. You know, we got the candy chute.
Yeah.
And I throw the candy down the chute, and she just was like, And she's walking away, and she goes, "I want to do that again." And I'm like, "Come on back!" And threw more candy down to shoot for her.
Yeah,
Oh
that's awesome. See, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like that. That's part of the reason you do it. You know?
I think it's fun.
You know, it was weird. I saw a thing on the news earlier in the week that they're like, candy prices are, up blah 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 %. I think it was like 7% or something.
Up, but
well, no, you know what though? It's like when I went and got candy, I was like, this looks like it's the same price as last year. Maybe they gave you less. Maybe that's the old shrinkflation move. But it seemed like it was about the same amount of candy for the same money. So I was like, okay, because they were like the average household's going to spend like $100 or $200 on Halloween stuff, and I'm like, well, yeah, you probably spend $30-ish on candy because it's if you have 100 to 150 kids, it's roughly $30 for that much candy, and and then any sort of costumes you put out, and that's without any decorations, but like I'm looking at Walmart and all the bag costumes they have are $20, so if you have three people, the old nuclear family,
right,
that's $60 plus your candy. Yeah, you're sitting on $100.
Hey, holidays are expensive, man.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you gonna do? I mean, at least it's not. It's weird though, because usually when the news does this stuff for like Valentine's Day, they'll be like, the average person spends like 300 and some, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, why? Because there's a lot of jewelry given. So it bloats the number.
More expensive.
Right?
Let's go out for a nice dinner on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who you remember?
Stupid expensive, because they jack the prices up.
Bryan,
all that
you remember
stuff.
that one romantical evening you and I went out on Valentine's Day? We went to fucking Hooters, and there was people bringing their dates in there. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and it's so. I mean, it's a long time ago because it's been a long time since I've been to a Hooters. So
same here. Yeah, it was oh god, I had forgotten about that. But yeah, I do remember because we were sitting there going, wow, really? But it's like, I don't know. Like older me looks back at that and goes, maybe she really loves the wings there. I mean, there are people that can't get enough of their food.
I guess.
So
I mean, you and I talked about doing the. I can't remember what style wings is, Daytona style, whatever the fuck it is. We just never pulled the trigger on it.
No, we never did. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Halloween is all right.
If you and I were going to go out on Valentine's Day again, we for sure got to go to like White Castle, and reserve a booth and do it right.
Well, I was thinking we just go to another weirdo spot like Twin Peaks or something.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, see who's showing up in a nice outfit, bringing her girlfriend to fucking Twin Peaks where the skanks are at. You know.
I just. Well, I mean, you never know. Maybe they're scouting. Like, hey, me and my wife saw you from across the room.
We need a unicorn.
Yeah.
Let me guess, maybe.
I don't know. Or again, maybe they just love the food.
Maybe. I mean, I've only had one Twin Peaks experience. I didn't even order anything. I have no idea.
Yeah. That's one more experience than I have with the place. I mean, I've gone by it plenty of times. That's
maybe we'll have to add that to our field trip list.
Yeah. Yeah. We just have to hit all the restaurants we can hit.
I love the term restaurant. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah. It's been for a while.
It's a great one. I like it.
That's basically what those kind of places are referred to, because that really is what they are. I mean, they're TNA,
I mean, the last TNA restaurant I can really think of, and it wasn't really advertised as TNA, but I'd be like the fuck's that place called? The City Diner or whatever, the one on Alexis there. What's that called?
Oh,
Star Diner. Yeah, because they hire nothing but good looking women that are in low cut shirts, and I mean the breakfast is good as fuck. So
you're not wrong. With when Heno came into town the first time, and he was like, do you want to go grab breakfast? And I'm like, sure. And I was like, let's head over to this place. I'm like, Tony tells me the breakfast is really good here, and we went. It wasn't really, I think they had changed a little bit by then, because it wasn't really like, the women were all hot basically, but they weren't wearing anything like crazy.
I always used to call it legs and eggs. So
yeah. I think maybe they shifted it a little bit because they were like, hey, let's maybe embrace the whole, like, anyone would want to come here to eat because the
like
food's
it's
good,
6 in the morning. Do we need to have sex appeal?
Right. Like, do we need a gimmick if the
I
food's really
mean,
good?
and
I'd
I haven't
say
been to
no,
Star Diner
right?
in a while, but the last time I was there, the food was good as fuck. So, yeah.
So, yeah, me and Heno had we had a hell of a breakfast there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
That's the last time I've been there, though. It's
Been a long time then, eh?
all those years.
Add it to the field trip list.
Well, I'm not usually up for breakfast.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Unless your breakfast becomes like dinner.
Yeah, basically. And not in a Brinner or whatever people like to call it, which I hate.
Yes.
But, in that sort of fashion, which I'm totally into. We actually did that last week. We're sitting here trying to figure out what we wanted. My mom's like, how about French toast and bacon? I'm like, yeah.
Fuck yeah, that sounds amazing.
French toast in so long. I was like, yeah, let's do that. So, yeah. So we did that. It was tasty.
Tasty.
Yeah. It was funny, though, because, we haven't done that in so long. She's like, before I start, she's like, can you look and see if we have syrup? And I was like, oh, yeah, I should. Because, like I said, it's been that long. It's no big deal. We would have just pivoted to eggs and bacon. But,
I mean, French toast with some like jelly. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I could have went that route, too. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Well, we have some berries in the freezer and stuff, too. So I could have
made a quick syrup.
Yeah. Or just use the fruit, whichever,
that too.
you know. But either way, yeah. But yeah, that was a nice change. And then was it another day we had some sausages, and I was like, what can I make with this? And I was like, because I usually fry up some like onions and peppers and mushrooms or something like that to go with the sausages. Sure. We were just having them on the plate, like not in a bun or anything. And I was like, I'm gonna fry some potatoes, like some breakfast potatoes. So I fucking did that, and man, those were tasty.
Breakfast food, probably my favorite meal of the day.
I mean, I'm talking sausage, like Italian sausage, not like breakfast sausage, but it would have been just fine too. I ain't mad at breakfast sausage.
Same.
In fact, I just bought some the other day to. My mom's been fiending for some biscuits and gravy.
I made that a couple weeks ago.
Man, I haven't made gravy in so long, though. I'm sure I'll be fine.
It's easy, Brian. You'll be all right.
Oh, I know it's easy. It's just one of those where I haven't done it a lot, so I'm always a little nervous getting back on the saddle. I just need to do it more often. Is all it is.
Clearly.
Straighten myself right out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of moms, last week was my mom's 77th birthday.
Nice.
And so this past weekend, me and my siblings and my nephew and his wife and kids got together over at my one sister's house, and they did a like chili cook-off, basically. I mean, it wasn't really done like a cook-off. It was just everybody made chili, basically, except, we weren't supposed to bring chili, which was weird, but I'm not really complaining. I don't really have a chili recipe, like I can make chili. I just don't because my mom usually makes it.
Right.
Like even when I didn't live with her, she usually makes so much of it that she would just be like, hey, I made chili, I'll bring you some. So I never really had to make chili, because, if nothing else, she'd bring a bunch over and I'd just stick it in the freezer, and then, oh, hey, let's have chili, and pull it out of the freezer,
Yeah.
So I was, pretty well set up for chili. But I mean, I would have whipped something up. Honestly, I thought about it like the night before, and I was very much like, oh, I should make like a white chili because, I doubt anyone's going to do that. And then my one sister actually did make a white chili, which, I've told you about this, but it was really good. It was the one, as soon as I saw that, because I went in, my tummy was a little in. I'm like, man, this is going to be a nightmare for me, like. I'm rocking a little bit of an upset tummy, and all there is to eat here basically is chili.
It's fine. Trial by fire. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know they had chicken tendies because my one niece didn't want chili, so they made her some chicken tendies.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Dip the chicken tendies in chili.
Close. You get the bowl.
Oh.
You throw some chicken tendies in the bowl, chili over the top. Yeah.
That probably would be
That sounds
legit.
good as fuck.
It really does. Yeah. So, my sister was like, well, since she didn't want us bringing chili, she was like, can you bring various accoutrements, So I was like, yeah, no problem. So, I grabbed like sour cream and cheese, and we had Fritos and chopped onion, and somebody brought jalapenos, and one sister brought blue cheese because apparently she puts blue cheese on there and it kind of melts into the chili.
I like
listen,
blue
I hate
cheese.
so it ain't working for me.
I'm a blue cheese fan, but blue cheese and chili in my brain doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, she was like, "Do you like blue cheese?" I'm like, "Nope." And she goes, "Oh, it melts." Blah. I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah, that does not compute in my head, but I kind of want to try it just to see now.
Yeah. And then somebody made some like corn muffins, and
that's the bro move.
It is, but I mean, they you know me, I'm a snob on my cornbread. It's like I want it in the cast iron, and anyway,
you know what you should have done.
But they got the job done. They
should have showed up with a bunch of like Wendy's chili.
Dude, I said that to my sister. I was like, I'm like, a part of me thought about just going to the store and buying like canned chili and just buy 5 or 6 cans and just dump it in a thing and not say a word about it and just show up and see what everybody says. And she's like, "Oh my God, you should have. That would have been so funny." Yeah, that and Wendy's sells their chili in cans now.
I didn't know that. I thought you could go through the drive-thru and get like a bigger tub of it.
Oh, you can. Well, you could. I don't know if you still can, but they did that for a while where you could get like a vat of it, basically.
Bucket of chili.
What would be funnier is to just really go the full route, which is to, like you were saying, get the bucket o' chili and just not put it in another container.
No, just as is.
You just show up with Wendy's.
Yeah, I'm looking up Wendy's bucket of chili.
So yeah, but it was interesting because my mom taught each of my siblings how to make chili.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing I was curious about is, will any of them be like close to mom's spaghetti? And
like M&M.
Yeah. No. Speaking of that, they're gonna start selling their sauce, I think, in jars or something too. I think I saw that the other day. But my one sister Tammy, hers was very similar to my mom's. The only difference was I was like, this is really sweet, and then it hit me why. The green pepper and the tomatoes she used were from the garden. They weren't store-bought. So that those green peppers still had that intense sweetness to them because they're fresh from the garden. Right. And the tomatoes too. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, honestly, it was really good. It's like she probably needed a little more seasoning to kind of balance the sweet of it. But across the board, like all of us were like, yeah, Tammy's tastes a whole bunch like mom's. It was interesting though. Like the others did not. Like Mikey, my nephew, he made one that was a thicker chili.
Yuck.
It was more of a like, stick to your ribs kind of chili.
It was like chili paste.
Yeah, but I like my chili thicker. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm a thick chili guy too.
Yeah, so I was, and my brother Jimmy and his wife, they kind of collabed on theirs to where it was a little weird because he was like, yeah, I did some stuff that I do, and I was like, did you guys have a game plan going in, or was this all ad lib? Which I'm fine with ad lib on chili because so many people, I know you do it that way. My mom usually does it that way, to where it's like, the gist of it, but you're not measuring
it's like
everything.
I ad lib to a point. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm used to that, right?
By the way, bucket of chili, you can only get a large chili, not a bucket of chili. Sad face.
Ooh. Dude, it's cold weather. This should be bucket o' chili season.
I want 2 buckets so I can just put 1 foot in each one.
Dude, they should have made little buckets of chili for Halloween.
Yes.
Kind of like McDonald's has those blue buckets that they're back.
It'd be even a more of a pro move if the bucket looked like a bean. People love beans.
Oddly enough, that was the weirdest chili yet. The thing was my one sister's partner, boyfriend, whatever you want to call him. Manservant. He does not like the texture of beans like in chili, so he made chili with no beans in it.
What was that called? Texas style, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And he got a lot of shit from my brother and my brother-in-law over it.
See, Brian, here's the thing. I love chili with beans, but I can't eat it anymore. Not unless I'm going to have me and everyone around me is going to have a bad day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I am more inclined to make chili without beans, as weird as it is.
No, I can understand it. That's like my sister that made the white chili. When we got there and I saw chicken cooking on the stove, and I was like, "Oh, you're using chicken?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm making a white chili." And I'm like, "Yes," because I think I've told you, it's like my stomach doesn't seem to like red meat as well as I've gotten older. So I'm a little more like, if there's a chicken option, a lot of times I will take that. You know.
Do you think
And
you can make a white chili with pork?
I think the only thing I guess chicken would be the same way. I was like, the only thing I'd be afraid of is that, the pork is only going to have really the flavor you impart in it. But you probably could. We'll see why you couldn't, because you can for sure make a red chili with pork, because I've had.
I typically use a beef pork mix when I make my chili. So
yeah. So I've for sure had it in red ones. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some recipe where someone's
one time
done
I
it.
used beef pork venison, and that was delicious.
Yeah, listen to you, big fancy man over there. Just like the God, what was it? Arby's had a burger that was called like the Big Game Burger, and it was supposedly had like venison, and I forgot what else. I think it was like venison, bison, and
road
something
possum.
Else. Road possum, yeah. Whatever they could scrape up in the parking lot.
Someone a long time ago just gave me like probably 5 pounds of ground venison. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? And one time I made it into chili and it was delicious.
Here you go, buddy. I just
Whoa, I've just heard it. That's the noise of Skype dying. Oh boy. Okay, where's my mouse? Hello? Hello, Bryan. He's dead, Jim. Well, for those of you who might watch this on YouTube, if it ever uploads, Bryan's frozen. And it's just you and me. I'm sitting here chewing my double Fudgy Kruger and waiting to see if the internet will cooperate. How are you? Let us know. saltylanguage.com. Hook us up. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm getting called back. I see the gears of churning. Hello? It's taken forever. Oh, God, it failed. It failed. It says missed call. I answered that shit. I'll call him. I might have to pause this. We're going to pause this.
All right, here we go. All right. So yeah, that was fun. That was
a good time.
Yeah. But anyway, so I found a few, pork and white beans or pork and white chili type thing. So
that's going to be the name of our bluegrass band, Pork and White Chili.
Nice.
I'll be pork since I have like an olive tone to my skin.
No. Neither of us is pork or
white chili.
Chili. Okay. Yeah, when people, it's like Hootie and the Blowfish.
Perfect.
Right? Like, it's like no. Neither of us is like
the collective is pork and white chili.
Yeah. Right. Individually, we're just who we are.
I like it.
Yep.
I mean,
so
I'd be willing to try that, but I mean, I like my chili recipe so much. I don't like to deviate.
Yeah. That was one of the things I think everybody kind of enjoyed a little bit, was even though most of the chilies were more like traditional type chili, there were still nuance. Like this one was a little more tomatoey. This one was, a little more savory. Nobody got crazy with
dropping mad heat.
Yeah. My brother said he sectioned off some of the chili that he made and then spiced it up a little bit more. But he's like, I didn't want to nuke anybody, and I'm like,
see,
no,
that's
fair,
my move when I make stuff that can be spicy. Is I will bring stuff if you want to make it spicy.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I was like, there was no like hot sauce on the table, which surprised me a little bit. But there was, like I said, there were jalapenos there. So my one nephew was putting like 3 or 4 in their real thin slice jalapeno.
Oh yeah,
right. So
those are called deceiving peppers.
Yeah. So I get at one point he was basically like, well, this isn't really hot. So he put like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them on his thing. And then he's sitting there and he's just like, doing the old like waving at his tongue and stuff. And my mom's like, somebody get him a glass of milk. And he's like, no, I don't want milk. And it was like, buddy, this is like for your own good. Like just
he's watched too many hot ones. He's like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
puss out by drinking milk.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even that. What I found out later is that basically he only drinks milk if it's chocolate.
Oh.
So he didn't want any milk because it was just plain white milk. And finally, like my sister poured him a glass, and after a little while, he just had too much. So he finally started drinking the milk, and they were like, yeah, you feel better now, don't you? He's like, yeah. And it was like, yeah, like, because there's science behind this, dude. It's like it helps kill that.
Did I tell you about the weird hot sauce I bought, the garlic parmesan? I can't recall.
No,
okay,
I don't think
so I was at Meijer, and there's this.
Just usually anything I see that says garlic parmesan on it, I pretty much am like, ooh, that'll be good.
I was at Meijer, and there's this hot sauce brand, Melinda's. They have. It's got like a sexy looking Spanish lady on it, in like little squeezy bottles, and they had garlic parmesan. I'm like, huh. So I grabbed it, and it tastes like spicy Caesar dressing almost. It's delicious. It's
That's
really good. It's not like super spicy, right?
Right. Could you toss wings in it?
I've put it on all kinds of shit now. So the last time we were at Meijer's, I was looking at their selection because they had a bunch of different ones, and they have a habanero honey mustard. And like I like hot sauces that are goofy, right? Because like everybody makes a pepper sauce. When I see garlic parmesan, honey mustard, I'm like, okay. So I bought that. Way spicier than garlic parmesan, but god damn, is it good?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably above my heat level, but
I mean, it's like it starts off really sweet and delicious, and then it's like, oh, I'm on fire, and then it goes away really fast.
Right.
Know?
Well, I would hope that's what the honey's in there for. I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I need to get some ham or we got a giant ham out in the freezer. I should smoke that bitch. Anyway, when you come over this weekend, you should at least smell them. Maybe try the garlic parmesan because, like I said, it's got heat, but it's not crazy heat. You know?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm down. It sounds good. I love garlic parmesan stuff, and that was the first thing when you said that. I'm like, oh, I bet that's good on wings or chicken or whatever.
Last week, it was one of those days where we made like the perfect amount of dinner. We didn't have leftovers. Right. So for packing my lunch, I'm like, fuck. I'm just like scrounging. I was like, oh, well, we got some ramen. So I looked at that bottle. I'm like, oh yeah. So I made ramen, threw that in it.
Oh, I thought you just took the bottle and the ramen, just ate the ramen like it was a brick. And just... Can you imagine doing that at work? You're just squeezing that stuff on it.
Dude, it was so good in that ramen. The stuff's really killer. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
I don't know how I got on that kick. Oh, we're talking about spicy food.
I'm disappointed. I was really hoping you were going to come up with some really weird ass concoction.
No, I haven't. I mean, like I've put it on pizza. Oh
no, I mean like not having anything planned for lunch.
No.
And it's like just grabbing whatever you can grab. You're like, well, there was like 3 tater tots and half a piece of pizza.
I got a friend of mine that I work with, and he's a big hot sauce guy. And so when I brought it into work, I'm like, you gotta try this. And he tried it. He's like, oh my god. He's like, that's so good. He's like, I would put that on my salad. He's like, it tastes like spicy salad dressing.
That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, it was good. Or was.
Because I for sure put some garlic parmesan salad dressings on salads before.
That's why it caught my eye. I'm like, I've never seen a garlic parmesan hot sauce.
Yeah. No. I like that idea though. That's really thinking outside of it. Just like, oh, here's hot sauce.
I mean, it's like, how I like spicy food, but if it tastes like shit, I don't want it. You know?
Right. I just like the idea that adds some like, it's, I don't know. There's some foods that like hot sauce doesn't fit. Like you're probably not going to take your favorite hot sauce and put it on a salad.
Right.
Yeah. But with this, now you have that option of, hey, I can still get a little heat here and bring this other flavor to the table as well. That's what it means. It gives you a little different look at some hot sauce.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting.
Very
Quite.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, we had a pretty good time too. It was like we got so full of chili, and then like, my sister not wheels out, but she brings out the cake she made for my mom, and we're all just like, oh God, because we're just stuffed full of chili.
Did you cut into it and it was just stuffed with chili?
Yeah, yes, it was a chili cake. I mean, hear me out though. Cornbread bowl.
Okay.
Chili inside.
All right. Wait, Bryan,
but
hear me out on this one. This is a legitimate idea. All right, so we're going chili stuffed. What if it was chili stuffed crust pizza?
I think you've gone too far, my friend.
We have strayed too far from God.
Domino's new stuffed cheese bread. It's like, well, we decided to stuff it with chili. Like whose idea was this?
I mean, I'm okay with it, but what?
I mean, I'll try it.
I mean, you could easily do chili dogs. You just got to roll the crust around a hot dog all the way around it.
That's true. Oh,
God, that'd be so gross. You're just trying to enjoy some pizza, and all of a sudden you're eating a chili dog.
Well, I mean, what is it? Vito's has got that Pacos.
Yeah, that's true,
pizza.
and it's actually
basically a chili dog
pretty
pizza.
Tasty.
It is.
I mean, I've had.
There's still a difference, though, between that and a chili stuffed crust
pizza.
Ugh,
Are you listening, Cheeto? Man. You only got a little bit of time left for your pizza career. Let's make this shit happen.
Introduce a new pizza to the place. The chili dog stuffed crust pizza. Oh,
actually, I like the idea of like you're saying, a cornbread bowl.
Yeah,
dude. Okay, we're going down the chili rabbit hole here.
All right, a rabbit chili hole.
What if it's like a chili pot pie, but the pot pie crust is cornbread?
See, that sounds delicious to me. For sure, get involved with that.
I would definitely make sweet love to that.
Because I do really like cornbread with chili. Like it's weird. Like I like chili different ways, right? Like the way I make it most of the time, honestly, whenever we have chili, I usually turn it into chili mac. Is usually what I do. But and my sister was like, "Oh, I didn't," she's like, "I thought about that," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I would have," and I was like, "No," I was like, "Dude, we had all this other stuff. It's fine." Like, and I don't have to have it that way. That's just what I do at home. But it was like, having the Fritos, man, I like this little, little cheese, a little onion, some Fritos on there, a little quick hit of some sour cream. That was fantastic. I like it like that. With we had those corn muffins, so I was dipping those in, in there, sopping it all up with it. It was like, I'm hitting it different ways. I didn't care.
There was one time I made cornbread waffles with chili, and that was good.
I could see that. But did you just put the chili over the waffle?
Yeah, that was good.
Just picturing a sandwich now.
Chili cornbread waffle sandwich with hot honey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? That does sound really good on it, actually. Right. Yeah. All right. Man, we've really gone down the chili hole here.
Chili hole.
Which really sounds naughty.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
throwing.
We went to dinner, had a bunch of drinks, and she let me put it in the chili hole.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Wait, huh?
That's not what you guys call it, the chili hole?
Yeah.
No one calls it that.
He's the one guy who, like, 3 years later, still calling it that, and you're like, it's the like fetch thing,
Oh God!
like, try and make it happen.
Stop.
Chili hole is not catching on.
Although, oddly, would be a pretty good name for like a corner. I'm picturing a dirty corner bar that serves good chili and beer. The chili hole.
The chili hole.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, chili and it's a hole in the wall bar.
It's like when Rocky's has chili night, and I make them suffer for it.
Yeah. It's a good thing they have multiple bathrooms. Unlike my sister's.
I ate so much chili that day you and I went there.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know how many bowls I had. I just kept going back.
It's like 90 or 100.
God, it was good.
Yeah, I think I told you this. It was like at my sister's. It was so funny. About an hour after we all ate, my nephew went and got his son from hockey practice, and he came in and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hit the shower." And I'm just like, anybody else find it hilarious that we're like an hour after being packed full of chili, and the only bathroom in this place is now occupado?
Occupado.
This doesn't seem like a good idea
Terrible
at all.
Idea.
So. But oddly enough, it's like only one person really destroyed it. So, it's overall it was a pretty successful night. So my mom was like, if we do that again, we should do it here because we have 2.5 baths here.
Yeah.
So I was like, that way there's at least a little more
more plumbing to abuse.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Oh boy. But it was a rousing success,
Nice.
I'd say.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. What was funny is my brother's wife was like asking everybody, which one did you like the best? And I'm like, I'm really not interested in doing that. Like, I tried 5 different chilies and enjoyed all of them. To me, that's just win across. I mean, the board,
was there some sort of like winners and losers situation, or was it just everyone was just having a good time?
It was just everybody's having a good time.
That's cool then.
We all knew who made each one. So, you can't really fairly judge and all that kind of stuff. Because when she asked my brother what his favorite was, he's like, well, yours because I'm married to you. And I was like, I don't know. I think when you say because I'm married to you, I think that negates the picking of hers.
Yeah, exactly. That's way too diplomatic. Yeah.
Right. But, yeah. I mean, but when she said it again to me and I was like, honestly, the white one was my favorite one because like I told you that night, I was like, I don't know if I've ever had white chili before, or if I had, it wasn't memorable. Right. So that was really good. And it was very different and all that kind of stuff. So that one really stood out because it was completely different from the rest,
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that one was my favorite because that's honestly the only one I went back and got seconds of. But part of that also was because, like I said, I tried 5 different chilies. So I was.
Uh-oh. I think we're having internet problems again, Brian. I don't know if you can hear me. Breathe, damn it. Breathe. We're not losing you. Oh, boy. Yeah, you don't say. Oh, he got too close to the event horizon. He got sucked into the black hole, ladies and gentlemen. We're reconnecting according to Skype. I don't believe you. Skype's a liar. Come on, Skype. Come on, Skype. Come on, Skype. Skype is failing. Oh, I heard something. Brian, did you get sucked into the void? Sound like a robot if you can hear me. Oh, God. Oh, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, Brian, I can't hear you. Oh, wait. Wait, oh, I hear you now. We have full internets. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so loud. Hello?
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah. It's whenever it drops and reconnects now for some reason, like there's no audio.
That's exciting.
I had the same thing with Heno when it did it, and you and I had that problem last week. Remember, it dropped and then you couldn't hear me. We had to redo the call. Same thing, man. Just booming, no internet. It said,
And I'm looking at my phone, and it was showing LTE on my phone too.
Is your router like taking a shit on you or something?
I'm not. I guess maybe. I didn't reset it before we started, and maybe that's the issue. But
did you sacrifice the goats?
No,
See,
I ran out.
That's the problem.
Used them all in the chili.
I mean, I do like a little mutton, Brian.
Yeah. So real quick before we get back into this, I saw today in the Toledo food truck thing that looks like Island Soul is selling their food truck.
Really?
Yeah, looks like the woman's move. Yeah, she's wanting like 60 grand for it. At like everything included, POS, cash drawer, all the stuff in it. And I was like, that's probably not bad. I mean, you probably, if you could get her recipes, you could probably just pick right up on what they're doing and go.
Yeah, for sure, right?
I don't know if that includes recipes or not, but if it did, if it included recipes and names, man, 60 grand out the door, you've got a business.
I mean, I would assume if she's selling everything, that she would also include the recipes. Because having the name in the truck don't mean shit if you can't make that food.
Right? And that's the kind of food that, and because you'd have to recoat that whole trailer because it's got a whole graphic thing.
Yeah. That's why it's like she's got to be including recipes, I would assume.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Imagine if you're like I'm like, all right, Brian, let's go in. You and me, we're getting the Island Soul truck. And then we're just like, we're cooking burgers and hot dogs. Like, what? We're here for that amazing Jamaican food? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, you mean our jerked hot dogs?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're experts. We've been jerking hot dogs since we were like 12.
I'm not gonna lie. It would be so funny if you could get a good recipe for a jerked hot dog. Like you make the hot dogs yourself, right?
I gotta look this up.
Jerk flavor into them, or jerk sausages. Yeah,
I'm looking up Jamaican jerk dogs. Somebody has to have done it.
Because can you imagine that's like our signature food is like the jerk sausage.
The jerk sausage.
Served with a cream sauce.
Oh my god. Well, Nathan sells a Jamaican escape dog. It's got pineapple, onion. No, that's not what we want.
That sounds more like just a tropical hot dog.
Jamaicans.com providing the Jamaican jerk hot dog recipe. All right, let's see what we got here.
Yeah, now we're talking.
It is from Jamaicans.com. I would assume they know what they're talking about.
It's owned by like Kraft.
12 years ago by Winsome Murphy. That doesn't sound Jamaican to me.
No.
Let's see here. Summers.
They just said "man" at the end of it.
Yeah, if they had "man," I'd be like, I'm in. This is legit.
Winsome. Yeah.
So let's see here. This is summer's here. It's time to fire up the barbecue grill. If hot dog is one of your favorites on the grill, we have a recipe for you. Old-time favorite and Jamaicanize it. Let's see here. Vegetable oil, sausages, Jamaican jerk sauce, pineapple, dark brown sugar, red onion. Okay.
Because my guess is that you make slits in the hot dog and you probably season it and then cook it, right?
Yeah, you marinate the hot dogs in jerk sauce. And this sounds like no. Yeah, there's slits in it. Yep.
Yeah. The move would be if you could just make your own sausages and make it like jerk, meat inside the casing, and then that's the so it's across the board, like you're eating like a legit jerked food. But just the idea of come try our jerk sausage.
Zero comments. I'm gonna see what all recipes Winsome Murphy has posted. Yeah, no, I don't want to experience 4K Dolby Vision. Thank you.
I mean, you might.
Let's see here. Jamaican rum custard, coconut banana fritters, Jamaican custard or cake, coffee cake. Okay, I have a feeling they're just like, well, I know how to make banana bread, so I'm just gonna call it Jamaican banana bread.
Yeah, just dump some jerk
seasoning.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, that's the whole gimmick. You just dump some jerk seasoning on whatever it is and call it Jamaican.
Pineapple, Jamaican.
Yeah.
Add, some sort of like Wild fruit, Jamaican.
Smoke some weed while you're cooking.
Jamaican.
Rastafarian.
Jamaicans.com. I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Ready to try this
What
again?
are we trying?
The podcast.
Oh, I've been still going on the video.
Oh, I didn't. I stopped it. I wish I hadn't, but I did.
That's all. That's all for the YouTube if it ever uploads. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Probably.
never. Yeah. Where the hell were we?
I don't know. We lost it.
We stopped. All right. Well, we'll just move on, I guess. All right. Well, we're back again after another stupid hiccup because my internet's just not playing nice tonight, apparently.
This video ever uploads to YouTube, and then we never went away.
It's true. It's true. And I hope it does, because for anybody listening, this is for sure one that I think you want to go find, because we had a nice talk about, jerking sausages.
Talked like 5 minutes about jerking sausages.
Yeah. Like legitimate jerking sausages, too, not just like eating our own meats.
Not as a hobby, but as a passion.
Right. Well, it could be both. Like they always say, right? Like, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. Fat.
So I had some of the most disappointing pizza I've ever had in my life.
Really?
On Monday.
Well, that's sad.
Leah had I almost said a hangover.
Leah
had a migraine. Same difference.
Same difference, man.
They didn't show up, but Logan, his cousin, and one of Logan's friends came over, and we're gonna play probably one of the greatest, honestly, tabletop RPGs because it's so simple. It's called Dread. And
like
kinda.
Dread.
But like to make your character, you just answer a questionnaire, and that kind of gives you the jive.
Like, do you like Gladiator movies?
Basically.
Have you ever seen it from it?
It gives you like the jive of your personality, and then there's no dice involved. But anytime something has to happen in the game, you have the Jenga tower.
Okay, and like each piece has something on it, basically.
Nope, it's like, hey, do you want to, check the room for evidence of something, or do you want to have a better chance by pulling a block? And it's like, and if you knock over the tower, depending on the situation, your character either dies immediately, or they're marked for death. So it's called Dread because,
like Steven
Seagal. So because it's a horror based RPG. We usually play it on Halloween, and so as the Jenga tower gets sketchier, the tension builds. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's an interesting concept for an RPG because all you need is a Jenga tower.
Yeah, it's like I was listening to Adam Ruins Everything last night. And it's an old episode, and they were talking about the premise of the episode was basically, can we upload our brains, kind of a thing. And he actually, so they got into talking about AI, obviously, and different stuff. And he was talking about that I don't know if it still exists. I would assume it does, but it was something, I think it was like Chat GPT based, but it was basically like an RPG.
That's interesting.
And everything in the game is generated from the AI. Like, it's like, you're a wizard, you're blah, blah, blah. And then you type in what you want to do. And then it continues from there.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
I can't think what it's called. It's like dungeon. I keep wanting to say dungeon crawl, but that doesn't sound right. So
it's like those old school text-based RPGs.
Yeah, like I see one here called AI Dungeon, but that doesn't seem right, but maybe it is. There's a lot of posts about AI Dungeons, so that probably
I might have to monkey with that just out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I thought you might enjoy
that's pretty cool.
That feels a little more like, me, I've never been big into these things, but when he was describing it, I'm like, and he even said, he's like, it's a lot of fun, and
so pizza. So we got these kids coming over. It's Monday, and I got to work, whatever. So we agreed. I'm like, let's just get some take and bake pizzas. Y'all can throw them in the oven even before I get home, and it's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Costco take and bake pizza S tier, right? Aldi ones are pretty damn good. But for some reason, the Aldi pizzas, they fuck me up. There's something in them that derails my guts. Don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, my problem with the Aldi ones is usually the only one they have available is the like 19 meat one, and the sausage is always fucks me up. But I told you about that one I got was like a Korean barbecue, and it was
good.
That was pretty tasty.
Well,
yeah.
so
anyway.
we grabbed Meyer ones, not like frozen pizzas, but like they're take and bakes.
Right. Take and bake, sure.
So terrible. Oh my God, man. Like,
That's
it's like a 1/4 inch of crust and like 1/8 of an inch of toppings, and then the toppings weren't great, very sauceless. And then yesterday I was starving during Halloween, so I ran to the fridge and grabbed some of it cold. I like cold pizza. This stuff was like inedible cold. I ended up throwing our leftovers away. I was like, it was so bad. Yeah, it was very disappointing.
That's very disappointing when you throw away what do you call it? Throw away
I don't
pizza,
think there's anything I could have done to make it better besides just basically ripping the toppings off and adding my own. It was even like we got a Supreme, a pepperoni, and cheese, and none of them were great.
Not even the Supreme
had a little more holding power, but barely.
Yeah,
it was
That's sad. It's like I was just up in Food Town yesterday, and I saw that they've got take and bakes in there, and I'm like, I was like, I'll have to remember that, over in their like deli area. I was like, I may have to grab one of those because I've been doing that more, mainly because of Aldi, honestly, because I most of the frozen pizzas that Aldi has, they're usually kind of weird.
Yes.
Like they're not just like here's pepperoni or whatever. It's like,
here's like road possum and pesto.
Yeah, right. But also because the take and bakes were really good the first time I got one, I was like,
their take and bakes rule. Like I like their take and bakes, but there's something in them that I have a bad time.
Yeah,
but they are good. Yeah,
they're good. I know. That's why it's like every time I'm there and I see the one that's like, I think it's like 5 meat or something, and I'm like, God, I really want to get one of those because it's like I know how good it is, but I'm like you were just saying, it's like that is gonna ruin me if I eat it. And I'm always like, why can't you have a Supreme one or something that I can get?
I'm surprised they haven't had one for you.
They're always sold out. Whenever I get there, I must be getting there too late in the day or something, because it's like and like I said, the 3 meat or 5 meat, whatever it is really good. It's just that, I know that's just gonna wreck me.
We typically don't get the take and bakes unless the kids are coming over, because it's a quick meal, and it's a lot of food and it's cheap. But we'll usually do a Supreme and a cheese for Leah, and they're both tasty. They blow the Meyer ones out of fucking water, that's for sure. Oh,
that's too damn
so
bad there.
Dude.
Yeah. Really quick, that AI dungeon, it looks like you can play it online too. It's not just an app for phones.
That's a good time. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I may give it a go just to kind of monkey
funsies,
with it a little
Brian.
bit.
Funsies.
What the kids say. Yep.
Oh, we also went through a haunted car wash. That was exciting.
Right?
Like, we went out of our way to try to visit this house that last year had this amazing Halloween display, and it was not up at all.
Now, here's something. Like, can you imagine now, I don't wish any ill will on anybody. Can you imagine if the people who owned it, died over the years?
Like, well, we were...
Like, now it's just a haunted house.
We were speculating.
Really haunted.
Because we went and saw it last year, and the only reason we found out was because I think the Blade or something posted about it. So I kind of wonder if there was so much traffic through that Sylvania neighborhood that the neighbor was like, hey, cut it out. Because how neighborhood associations are. Yeah, so we drove out there for no reason, which was disappointing. But on the way back, because we passed the car wash I like to go to, and it was like, I think they're having a haunted car wash. They did it last year, and they charge you for it, and I didn't go. But this year I was just like, let's just see what's up. And pull in. The guy's like, hey, here for a car wash? Of course, I'm not going to say yes because they're going to charge you for it. I went, nah, I just want to get my car washed, man. And then, because I'm a member, Brian. they're like, oh, okay, well, you a member here? I'm like, yes, I am. Okay, we'll go over there. And it was, you never see people at this car wash unless they're, manning to one booth or whatever, or they're fixing something.
Right.
Michael Myers waving us in. You're going through and there's like foam spraying all over your car and monsters are squeegeeing your windows an inch away from your face and shit. It was actually really entertaining.
Did they do any, was there any shtick to it or that you didn't get because you just were like, no, I'm just here for a car wash,
they gave me the full situation.
Oh,
as far as I know.
Because I know when you told me about this, I was like, all I could picture is everybody just going, oh, like being real sad because you don't want the full gimmick. So they're just like, okay, come on in, like it's just very mundane, but they're all.
I kind of had a feeling that we weren't going to get it because it was like, they're charging for it. So I kind of almost felt like it'd be like, oh, hey, here comes the guy. He's just getting a car wash. It's just going to be like a normal car wash, except there's Halloween music playing in the car wash and everything's blacked out with weird lights. But no, we got the full gimmick of the monsters and Michael Myers.
Maybe because you're a member. Maybe members get it. I don't know.
Because because last year I got an email from the car wash and they're like, hey, we're doing a haunted car wash. I think it was like $20 or something, and I'm like, I'm not paying $20. But we drove by and the line was like out to the road, And this was about the time they were closing. That's the only reason it really stopped.
What'd be funny is you go through it, it's just a normal thing, but like you said, they're just playing Halloween music, and there's just somebody that's like, ooh, spooky water.
So spooky. Your car's getting cleaned with blood.
Yeah. Scary suds are coming.
It was fun, though. I was like, it's a good gimmick for a car wash. And I've never seen that before.
Right, yeah, no.
And honestly, I felt bad for the people working because it was cold that night and they're in the car wash doing shit. Right? It's just, I love the Michael Myers just waving us in. Although I have we've got Cousin Eddie we set up for Christmas out in the front yard. I was like, I was looking at him in the garage when I was getting our Halloween shit put together. I'm like, God damn it, I need to get blue coveralls and a Michael Myers mask and just put him out on the porch.
Yeah.
100%.
Until it scares the shit out of you on the Ring camera or something.
Person detected. It always scared the shit out of me if it was in a different position.
Yeah, that would be really good thing we don't live close to each other or that close, so I could just sneak over and move it.
Like, wasn't he at the other corner?
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on here?
Just keep moving him closer and closer to the camera.
You've heard of Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah. Man.
I got something for you that isn't Halloween related, but it was so satisfying to witness.
Okay.
I don't think I talked about this. I was on my way to work. People drive like assholes and I hate it. But you might not know I hate it, but I do hate it.
Well, I do. I've been in a car with you enough.
So I got this person in this Lincoln, and it was like one of those mornings where for some reason, all the semi-trucks are like, all right, guys, Blue Angel, we're flying in formation. You just can't get around them, And this Lincoln SUV is in front of me, and it's...
Was it Matthew McConaughey driving?
Maybe. It might have been. No, because Matthew McConaughey comes across as a chill dude. This person was not chill at all. They're doing the swervy swerve behind the trailer. Like the driver gives a fuck.
Like they're keeping their tires warm in NASCAR on a
exactly
lap.
Right. So they're doing that, and then they would cut over aggressively behind the truck next to it, and they're just going back and forth, and I'm just watching the show like this fucking idiot, and
now it's like if the truckers weren't doing that on purpose, they're for sure going to now because they're going
to breaker 5.9er. You see that jerk off back there?
Dude, I years ago when we used to, have a CB in the motorhome when we would go to flea markets and stuff, I used to hear him talking about it all the time. if there was somebody driving like an asshole, they would block the road to stop them.
Good.
Basically. Yeah.
So this person's doing that shit. And we're going through a construction zone. And I think they thought we were further up. Because, you got the river and the casino. And then there's the highway exit to go to, like, Owens Community College. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they thought they were a little further up. Because they were in front of me in the far left lane. And they just aggressively cut over. And they just started smoking orange barrels. It was like,
man.
boom, and the person was shot like 10 feet in the air. It was like, boom, 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 and then they finally got back into the lane, and I was laughing my balls off.
Oh, man, I bet. Jesus.
Because I think they thought they could, like, cut over and get around the truck, and they just cut over right in the orange barrels. It was amazing, and I'm so glad I got to witness it.
Yeah.
I mean, that first barrel, dude, it looked like it was trying to go into orbit.
Looked like something from like us playing
Saints
Row the other shit going.
It was so satisfying. I just wish I could have like followed them to their destination so I could look at the front of their car, be like, point and laugh, Oh God, I that's like it. I love instant karma like that.
I just can't understand driving that way. It's like you never get anywhere that much faster. It's just not.
I see it.
Like, why be so
I see
aggressive?
it every morning, and half the time, I will get off on my exit to go to work, and the person that's driving like a real jerk off, thinking they're in NASCAR, is like 2 car lengths ahead of me at the same exit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like you see it all the time when you're out on like a random road and somebody will just come blowing past you, and next thing you know, you're sitting next to them at the stoplight, and it's like, yeah, that was worth it. Like, good thing you opened your car up for a couple minutes there. Yeah. That was really worth that burning of gas you just did.
Real cool.
Yeah, you're super.
Yeah, like
super cool.
I think I just developed ovaries from your sheer manhood over there.
Yeah. It's like, oh, do you have truck nuts? Because I feel like you have truck nuts.
Nuts like a truck. Truck. Oh yeah, that was so good though. God, that.
But that was kind of fun.
Anytime I see anything like that, I can't help it. I lose it. I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, it was on ridiculousness. That's actually a category on the show. It's instant karma, and it's all shit like that where somebody's an asshole and then they like they'll run in front of somebody like, and then they just eat it and bite, hit their face on the curb or something. So it's one of my favorite categories on the show.
It is great.
It's so nice when you see someone being an asshole and immediately get their
comeuppance price right off the rip. Yeah, I love it.
Just like
exactly. It gives me warm fuzzies. Yeah.
Yep.
Big fan.
Yep. Man, did you see this week that Richard Moll passed away?
I started seeing posts of like Night Court casts, and I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah. And honestly, the one that it made me sad was like someone posted one, and it was John Larroquette and the lady who plays Roz. They're in color, and everyone else is in black and white. And I'm like, all these people from Night Court are dead.
Yeah, 4 of the 6 main cast members
are idea.
Gone. Yeah. It was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, John Larroquette, and I feel bad because I don't know the woman's name who played Roz, but yeah, she's still alive, and the rest have all passed away. Because the guy who played Mac and was last year, I think, and Marky Post, I think, was last year or the year before, or something like that, and Harry Anderson died years ago. So it's like,
crazy,
man,
isn't it?
And Richard Moll was. I loved when he. Oh my god!
Holy shit! Geez. The arc reactor just activated.
He did. There's an episode of maybe 2 episodes. I think it might be a to be continued episode of Married with Children, where Bud borrows money from the mob to make an exercise video, and Richard Moll plays like the enforcer for the mob. And he's got like a beard and, long black hair all pulled back and everything. And it's great because it's so dated because he's on like an advanced, like just slightly more advanced than a word processor.
Right.
kind of laptop, you know, and he's threatening Bud with how they're going to mail certain parts of him to different people, you know, if he doesn't come through with the money or whatever. So, but yeah, he was good in other stuff too. And he, you know, I read a couple things where people talked about how he's just a big sweetheart guy. So, but yeah, just a monster of a man though. But he was great on Night Court. He was so good on the show.
Like I said, I didn't realize. Well, one, the picture I was talking about that someone posted, it had zero context. I'm like, who died? And then I was like, all these people are. I was so blown away.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it too, it's like they're not. Like most of them are not like. I mean, old.
Shockingly, John Larroquette, the one who looked the oldest on the show, is still alive.
Still going. Yeah. In fact, he's on the revival of Night Court.
What?
So, yeah, his daughter is the judge on the show, basically. Like Dan Fielding?
Sure.
Can't remember. His character on the show.
Did we?
His daughter is the judge now instead of obviously Harry Anderson's.
Did we
gone,
talk about this?
I don't know. I have not watched it. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I think he's the only. I mean, obviously, with most of them dead, you can't really bring many of them back. But yeah, they're all CGI or AI based. I know, right?
Yeah, I see. Night Court. That's loading. God damn it. 2023. Yeah. Weird.
I don't know if it got revived for another renewed for another season or not.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say probably not, but I don't know.
Yeah. What's funny about it is it looks like Dan is still like, you know, I think he's playing the like Marky Post's thing. I think he's the public defender now. So I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I you know how it is. Whenever they're like, we're rebooting a show, and I'm usually like, you know, like on Paramount Plus, they got the new.
Yeah,
Frasier
I saw that too, and I was like,
show.
What?
And I'm like, I don't know about this. Like it was amazing that Frasier was such a hit after, you know, with it being a spinoff of a massive hit, and then Frasier got 10 years. You know, so it on its own is, you know, an amazing run of a show. And then to bring it back again, it's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So I haven't read anything about that show either. So, and I don't have Paramount Plus, so I can't watch it. But yeah, but anyway, so also in the, like, you know, I know neither of us are really like Friends fans, but, you know, Matthew Perry passed away too.
Yeah, that seems sad.
And man, dude was only 54. You know, and I was reading or heard something the other day that, like, I guess he took like one of the houses he owned and turned it into like a sober living place for recovering alcoholics.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And he was really trying to get his foundation going and really do some good work with helping people get sober and stuff. You know, that was really his passion in life at this point. And I was like, oh man, that's so sad. I mean, obviously an organization can still exist, you know, and continue, but it's still, you know, without a guy like him out in front raising money for it, you know, it makes the job a little harder. But yeah, like I said, I've never was really a Friends fan, but I can understand why a lot of people are pretty upset over this one. And again, he was, you know, 54,
it's so young,
that's very old.
It kind of makes you wonder, because I remember I heard they found him in his hot tub, which sucks.
Yeah,
is
right.
I do know that one of the times I was on vacation, it was hot out, I was drinking, and I was in the hot tub, and I thought I was going to pass out. I got so lightheaded, you know, and I kind of was like, I know he says he was sober, but, you know, you never know. But
well, and there's other stuff too. I mean, all speculation, of course, but it's like, you know, if you've rode your body hard with drugs and alcohol, you know, sometimes the old ticker gives out too, you know. I mean, you know, like Eddie Guerrero is a good example of that. He had been clean and sober for years, but so much cocaine earlier in his life and stuff, and it's just, his heart exploded.
I was talking to a friend of mine at work today that I don't get to talk to as much as I used to, and he just lost a friend last week, and this guy was a partier. He was only like 50 something too. Yeah.
It's it's
exactly.
fast die young, right?
Exactly. You spend most of your life
sad.
poisoning yourself.
Yeah, and it's sad as someone, the people left behind see, is sad because they mourn the, like, man, he should have been alive for another 30 or 40 years kind of thing, and so it's always sad, but yeah. But I saw today that I don't know if you're familiar with, like, Bobby Knight died too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a former Indiana basketball coach, and he coached at I think Texas Tech also too. And he's known for being a very angry sideline coach in men's basketball. Like, used to throw chairs, and he got in trouble for being, like, very aggressive with the players, like grabbing some of the guys by the shirts. I mean, there's a lot of shit that he did, but he was a very good basketball coach. But it's, so he was kind of known for both things. He was known, it's similar like John McEnroe, right? Like, McEnroe was known for he was a great tennis player, but he's known really for
being
his
a
temper.
hothead. Yeah.
Nobody really brings him into like a TV show, like a pop culture TV show for a tennis.
Do you remember that brief time when John McEnroe was, like, in a lot of things? He was just like, he was on TV shows. He'd make cameos in movies, and it was always the angry guy. Yeah,
exactly, right. That's what I'm saying. It was never like, oh, we need a tennis player, let's go get John McEnroe.
What a weird time we lived in when that was happening.
Right. And that's why it's like Bobby Knight kind of fits that bill too, and that he was very much known for his temper. But I mean, he was a brilliant basketball coach, but he was known for his temper probably more than being known as a basketball coach.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So he's one of those people that I could see people online basically posting either what a brilliant guy or what an asshole.
Let him fuck that guy. But I see he made it to 83. That makes more sense than Matthew Perry. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Agreed. So, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people will be streaming Friends on Max now.
Screw that. Where's Stream Night Court? Where's that at?
Peacock, probably.
Boo,
I think
I don't have Peacock.
You?
Show off.
No. There's no way that show holds up.
I don't know.
Right?
I haven't watched it since I was I kind of want to watch it because it was one of those shows that I used to watch with my dad. And I'm like, I bet you if I watched it now, there's a lot of jokes I didn't pick up on.
There's that. There is potential for that. You're right.
I enjoyed it as a kid because it was such a silly show.
It was still funny.
And, like,
exactly.
was it just Judge Harry? Because I think Harry Stone, like, he was always doing weird magic tricks and shit. And
well, yeah, because he was a magician. That was actually, speaking of Cheers a bit ago, he was a recurring character on Cheers.
I forgot about that.
Because he was a grifter named Harry.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Because Sam always hated it when he showed up because he was always stealing from either his customers or from Sam in the bar.
Yeah, it's one of those sitcoms. I mean, it had a long run, so it's got to be good in some way.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder because of the time of it. There's a lot of those shows from that era that have such a heavy we're from this era feel to them. So I'm curious. Maybe I'll fire it up and see if I feel like it holds up. Also, you never know with the jokes. Like, are there going to be can't really do that anymore?
Guaranteed. Yeah, 100% there will be some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I guarantee that there's probably some cross-dresser humor in the show. That's probably no good.
I mean, it still might be funny, but funny in the wrong ways.
Right, like, that was funny then, but now it's like, okay, we understand things a little differently now.
Maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I watched Ace Ventura, and I was like, ooh, this is rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still kind of funny, but there's no way.
there's a lot of those genres, like in that kind of comedy. There's a lot of those from like the 80s to early 2000s that I think now we'd be like, ooh, I don't think that joke would fly now. You know, like I think they'd scrap that, you know, and at the time it was quite funny, but now it's like, yeah, not so much. But hey, what are you gonna do, right? It's a different time. Ugh. Yeah,
I'd be curious about Night Court. It's like I'm watching. You know, I'm still watching Seinfeld, and some of those jokes that even from the '90s, like it is, I'm like, ooh. Like I just watched an episode where Elaine's boss gets ink on his face, so he looks like Hitler, and he's like Sig Heiling and shit.
Oh, God,
and I was like, oh no, they couldn't do that now.
Yeah. That's how I remember that one, because I had the same feeling when I watched it, a year or two ago, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if you could do that so much now." Like, that's the thing, is it's like it's funny, but it's also very it's very insensitive. So it's like, this probably shouldn't have been on a major television, like the biggest TV show on at the time. Like, this feels like something that would have been on like HBO or something, not on network
Although
TV.
For some reason, Brian, on the flip side of things, I watched maybe 6 months ago, we watched Rat Race, and that scene where John Lovitz smashes his face into Hitler's car's steering wheel, and they go busting into the like World War II veterans convention. He's just like, and it was hysterical.
Right? It's so weird how
I know, right?
You know? Yeah.
The old Jewish family stealing Hitler's car from the neo-Nazis.
Right.
That's such a wild movie. Rat Race.
Let's try something.
Are you gonna try something?
Yeah, I got this this Coke. It's the Y3000 Coke. It's apparently the Coke inspired by AI.
Oh God, this is not going to be good. I knew it.
God, there's some weird ass. It's not as bad as that one Coke. Like, I forgot which one it was. It had like the rose water taste to it.
God, what was that?
It
was like
terrible,
Coke Starshine or something like that.
Yeah, I remember me and Michelle both
yeah, it was pretty vile. I think I still have like one of those as zero sugar in my fridge. I couldn't bring myself to drink it.
Too.
Limited edition Coke flavor. Tastes the future. Does it taste like the future, Brian?
No.
That's weird. Let me see here.
That's why I was curious what people. Wow, 3.5 is the average review online, which
I don't.
Oh, they're freaking crazy. Somebody's like, tastes like a gobstopper. You're crazy, dude. You want something that tastes like a gobstopper? The Mountain Dew, like Voodoo, is the closest thing you'll ever have to that.
I gotta take. I don't want any of these cookies, Coca-Cola. Fuck off.
Love the cookies.
Trying to learn more about Y3000.
Man, speaking of cookies, man, a couple of weeks ago, Mom's made some fresh chocolate chip cookies.
Them shit's fired.
Those disappeared so fast.
So, limited edition Coca-Cola flavor, Coke created with artificial intelligence. Taste the future. Flavor from the year 3000. That's why it's called Y3000.
Oh, so apparently the year 3000 tastes like awful.
Serve it ice cold for maximum refreshment. Also numbs the taste buds.
Well, there's my problem. It's not ice cold.
And it says scan the QR code on the bottle to take part in digital and IRL experiences.
I feel like that's just going to probably turn my soul over to Coke.
The future's waiting for you, Brian. That's what it says.
Oh, God, it's so bright.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Nutrition facts. Are these facts from the future? No, not really. Pretty standard facts.
All right, so on sporked.com, I was looking to see what they rate this
shite.
Or what it's supposed to taste like. That's the thing I don't understand.
Shite.
Yeah. I don't know. It says this guy here says he's seen reviews describing it as tutti frutti. And he's like, it's a little like liquid from maraschino cherries mixed with grape cough syrup. I say, I'm not getting that at all in it. I don't know what I would say it tastes like, but that is not what I would say it tastes like.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the label. Like for some reason, like teal and pink and purple just seems so retro to me. So for them to call it the year 3000 is deceiving.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I do not like it in a boat. I do not like it with a goat. It's not good.
Yeah, just make Coke flavor Coke, guys.
Well, I always like the Mountain Dews. Whenever they do a new Coke, usually I'll grab one. And yeah, see, other people are saying that as a caramel undertone, and it's like, no, that's not it either.
See, I don't think Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew like when you and I see a craft beer, we get excited because it's like, oh, we haven't had that flavor before. I don't get excited about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I understand. I'm a mark for the gimmick, right? And that nobody seems to be able to really explain what the fuck this tastes like.
It tastes like the future. I've already said that.
I guess you're right. It does. I hope the future tastes better than that. Although, look, the way the world is, I'm not sure the year 3000 is going to exist. But
it'll exist. We just might not be here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we definitely won't be here, but
yeah, I hope not. I sure don't want to be alive. 77 years
Dude,
from now?
It's way longer than that for going to the year 3000.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's only to 2100.
Come on, math.
Sorry, I was only looking at the last 2 digits of the year. Man, I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Anyways, yeah, I'm a mark for the gimmick. Only because it's like, I'm just curious what the hell when they say something's inspired by AI. It's like, what the hell did AI think that the future tastes like?
Let's find out, Brian.
Terrible, apparently. I just tried it. It's not good. I just wish Coke would be like, it's supposed to have the put the product out, and then once it's out for a little while, it'd be like, hey, this is what we did. This is what it's supposed to taste like, basically.
Like a month after it's out, be like, okay, here's actually what we were thinking.
Right. It's kind of like again, the Voodoo by Mountain Dew is, they put it out and they don't explain. It usually is supposed to be inspired by a candy every year, but they don't tell you which candy. There was one year, I can't remember which one it was, that everybody immediately was like, that's a gobstopper. And I was 100% on board with that. That was easily my favorite one of them. To me, I would have just stopped right there and just made that flavor every year.
Right.
But, you can't so much do that, I guess.
I suppose.
I guess. All right, let's see what All Recipes says it tastes like.
I'm trying to log in here. The fuck was that? Someone just texted me, Brian.
Sorry. It wasn't me, I can tell you that.
Oh.
These people are fucking crazy. Orange cream?
That doesn't seem right.
Nope.
I don't.
It's Fanta mixed with Coke. There's no way. They're way off. Anyway. All right. I'm still
trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out what the future tastes like according to AI.
Awful, Tony. I already told you. Awful.
God damn it. Terrible.
Terrible. All right. I'm going to quit looking because I don't think anyone's going to really nail the flavor of this. I was actually surprised there wasn't like a Reddit post that popped up. Because for Voodoo every year, there's like a Reddit subreddit where people are like, it's this. And then, they argue until they kind of figure it out. Basically.
Right. Naturally. As is tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right. Anyway. Hold on, Brian. I was trying to do this on my... Oh, wait. I don't know why it didn't come in. 998885. Hold up. We're working here.
Oh, my God. I'm tired of waiting already.
you know, you have an account already, but it's like, I don't know my password. It's a whole thing. Okay, I know how to use this. Get away from me. All right, so
let's try this.
I am going to pull up the browser. Dink. I'm going to go, hey, Chat GPT, what does, if I can't type, the future taste like? All right, Brian. Oh my God, it's so much it's so much text. Says the concept of the future doesn't have a taste in the literal sense, as taste is a sensory experience associated with food and drink. However, if you're asking about the potential evolution of flavors or culinary experiences in the future, it's difficult to predict. So, in a more metaphorical sense, the taste of the future could represent a taste of novelty, innovation, and the unexpected. Ultimately, the future taste is subjective and will likely be influenced by dynamic interplay of various factors in the realms of culture, science, technology. Come on, Coke. But what about Coca-Cola in the future?
I feel like Coke should have the money to go to the future, see what it tastes like, and then come back.
I would assume, right?
No,
this tastes like the apocalypse.
On Reddit, I found what might be the best description, I think, which is, I definitely get the notes of Jelly Belly jelly beans, but it's difficult to place which ones. It's like you grabbed a handful of all the random flavors and ate them without looking at what they were before putting them in your mouth. That, I think, nails
so it's
it.
just...
There's some weird flavor that I can't... Some of the people in here say that they think it tastes like popcorn Jelly Bellies mixed with Coke. That might be the closest I've really seen to it.
It's so weird.
It's just a weird...
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, I 100% don't recommend
it's cool.
this.
I won't be jumping on that bandwagon.
I didn't figure it would anyway, but yeah, I bought this the other day because I had heard about it and I was like, oh, and I finally saw it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab one of these to try, and I wish I would have grabbed another Voodoo instead.
I mean, you know, I like it when we do our little weird seltzer packs, which we're coming up to Bud Light weird season. We got fall and Christmas around the corner, Brian. What sort of bullshit are they going to pull out of their asses this year?
Probably the same shit. Didn't they do the same thing last year they did the year before? Oh, no, they didn't. They did the Christmas sweaters, or was that the year before?
I know they had the fall flannel, which all of them were terrible. Oh, and then they had the ugly sweater pack, and all of them were terrible.
Right, which is pretty much just now, I assume, the baseline. Like, there's none. I just don't think I'm going to let myself get excited for any going forward, because the percentage that we've liked versus not liked or we're on it's not even close. The scales are so heavily tipped.
It's our gimmick, though.
Oh no, I'm not saying we should stop.
Of course not.
I'm just saying that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Although I do wish we could buy singles.
Yeah, because I still have some Bud Light Seltzer apple slices in my fucking fridge.
Should have watched some of that pizza now.
I think I did, actually, because I was like, I'm thirsty, and it's here.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I come over, I can help you with that. I can crush some of those just to get rid of some, but
yeah, it's not good.
It'd just be nice if either A, they tasted good, so you wouldn't mind drinking them, or B, you could just buy singles so that you're not stuck with
it. Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or C, somebody would have a party you could just bring them to.
It's also true.
Just, I hope Derek's doesn't listen, because, if we ever go to like their Halloween party, he should expect a whole bunch of random shit like that.
I love it.
Like, look what we brought.
Brian. Bud Light Seltzer now has Bud Light Platinum Seltzer.
Oh, well, they've stepped it up. Apparently.
Oh, it's got higher alcohol.
Oh,
there's the apple slices pack. I'm trying to see if they got anything new. Sangria pack. Black. Yeah. Retro tie. It doesn't look like maybe they're not doing the fall flannel shit this year.
We didn't do a podcast with the tie-dyes. You did those.
Yeah, I did that when I was on vacation. I was like, I'm drinking.
Yeah. but I have not had the tie-dye.
Actually, I wasn't mad at the tie-dye, so I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's more fun if we both haven't had
Yeah,
them,
exactly.
you know.
That's true.
That could be very fun if you're like, yeah, I had this.
Yeah, like, Bryan, this is good.
Yeah, this one's good. This one's good.
Yeah,
this one's
I'm on the
ass,
Bud Light Seltzer website right now, and there's no mention of any weird stuff. Yeah.
Huh. Maybe they haven't announced it yet, you know.
I mean, all the Christmas beers are dropping. You'd think they would be announcing it.
You would think so, yeah. I mean, you know, we can look at other flavors out there too. Maybe somebody else is doing something.
Yeah,
nutty.
but you know, Bud Light's let us down for so many years now.
I know, that's true. It is a tradition
to be disappointed by Budweiser.
Because there are other things. Like I still haven't grabbed I think at Food Town, I think it is, you can buy the Jack Dagnall's Coke in a can. Like
that's cool.
Of it. I think it's like $5 for one or something like that, which really is not terrible. You know, you figure a shot or two of Jack and a Coke, it's, you know, $6. So I should grab one of those one of these times for us to try. Because I'm just curious in the can how it tastes versus if we just pour Jack Dagnall's
Jack
into
and Coke. Yeah.
Yeah. A Lemmy, if you will.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yep. Anyway, let's move on from this hot garbage. All right. So I got something that this can be a shut up and take my money, but it's not necessary.
God, I just died.
And it was a Kleenex for
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
You'll be all right unless you're leaking brain fluid or something. Well, that would explain some things actually. But dude,
what you got?
So on Kickstarter.
Oh, let me guess.
Okay.
Is it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Our Strangest Redux? Yeah, I saw that.
So not only are they bringing this back, but new art from the Ninja Turtles creators, they're 100% on board with it. So this isn't just a company going, we still have a license or some bullshit, you know. Like the guys are on board for this thing, and it looks like they're bringing back an RPG from our youth.
I still have this book.
I don't think I do. I think mine got ruined in the basement.
That's
flood,
unfortunate. Yeah.
So, and it looks like
they're almost at $500,000. Nice.
Yeah, I looked yesterday at this, and they were at like 330,000. So in like one day, they've packed on another about $120,000. So that tells you, like, people are excited about this, which I love because you and I had a lot of fun with this as children's or teenagers.
I kind of wish. I mean, I know eventually they might drop some like previews of the book in their Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because from what I was reading, it's like a slight rules revamp, and I'm like, well, I already have this. Do I need it again?
I mean, the answer is yes.
I don't know.
But, yeah.
I mean, as much as we play tabletop games in this house, I wouldn't be opposed to, you know, getting it again and running the game. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know, but
right. What's the base support on it? $50?
I think 50 or 60. I think.
I mean, that's a kick in the pants. That book was like $20.
Yeah,
when
for
we were
sure.
Kids. But
it's hardcover. Like I have my book's soft cover, and you can tell because it is beat to shit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a hardcover, but yeah, that makes a little more sense. But
yeah, so I saw this. I got a.
Oh, it's got variant cover.
Yeah, you can pay more for variant cover. Yeah. Yeah, I got a targeted ad for this. And I was actually going to talk about it, so that's why when you said Kickstarter, I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
And speaking of Ninja Turtles, we watched a new Ninja Turtle movie. It's pretty good.
Yes. The only reason I haven't watched it is I don't have Paramount Plus. It's like I think I'm gonna have to just pull the trigger on the free trial or whatever.
Mine ended, I think. Mine ended in a few days. Because there's one of those apps I got to watch something and I kept forgetting to cancel. And I was like, and I canceled it, and then this came out, and I was like, oh, we got to watch it before we lose it.
I was looking yesterday, and I was really thinking about because my Netflix, my next billing is tomorrow, and I was like, and I was looking to see if you could put your account on hold, but I don't see anywhere to do that. Also, here's my issue. I'm still on the old grandfathered version where it's $10 a month. If I cancel it and come back, it becomes what, $12 a month or whatever. And it's like I was gonna pull the trigger on it last night, and I was like, shit, they just added the new Spider-Man movie, the across the
is that Netflix?
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
it's yesterday was in there, and I haven't seen it, so I was like, damn it.
We saw it in the
I should have watched.
We saw it in the theater, and it's such a beautiful movie. I want to watch it again.
Yeah. That's what it's like. I want to watch it, but it's like it's only on Netflix right now. So it's like, I'll probably do one more month of Netflix, and then I'll make my decision. There's plenty of stuff I want to watch on Netflix, but I'm finding that I rarely open Netflix. Right. So it's kind of, why am I paying for this? But I wish I could just put it on hold for a few months. Grab Paramount Plus for a month or so, do what I need to do there, and then I could always come back to Netflix.
New Ninja Turtles, though, it's good. It's got a cool style to it, and
I love
the one thing that struck me that I really liked, and it's the first time I've seen this, is the turtles all have different body types.
Yeah, they really focused on making them unique, not just the same turtle.
Yeah, and I really liked that. I was like, oh, that's so cool that they did that.
Two of my favorite things from the initial designs that I saw were that. And I love the fact that they really, like Seth Rogen said, they really wanted to take it back to them being teenagers and brothers. And you could feel that in the commercials for it, that they really felt like brothers and they felt like kids. They didn't feel like the 20-something, mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it was definitely worth watching. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked so fun. I can't wait to watch it. I just, so many damn streaming services.
I know, it sucks, doesn't it?
So many. But yeah. So that was that game though. As soon as I saw it, I was like, it just warmed old man Bryan's heart a little bit, because something that was beloved from when we were 12, probably somewhere in that range.
Yeah, because the original book came out in like 85.
Yeah, and we stumbled onto it much later than that.
Because I think I bought my copy from King's Comics.
Yeah, I think that's where I got it too. No, actually, I think I got mine from Mind Games, because I think King's Comics was out of business by the time I bought it. But either way, two places out of business, because neither exists anymore.
Yeah, I think this is cool that they're bringing this back.
Yeah, me too. And I love the fact that the guys from Ninja Turtles are on board with it and stuff too.
Yeah.
I think that's extra cool. I mean, I don't know if I would throw in for the variant. If I still had my original one and I was pledging, I might throw that extra $10 to get the variant cover. And be like, hey, look, I got both.
Yeah, that would be my thing, is if I do decide to support it, because I got some time to make my decision. I might throw in the extra $10 just to get a different cover. But at the same time, I always like, I'm looking at the original cover. I always like the original cover though.
It's a great cover. Yeah, it's a really well designed cover. The newer one feels more like a splash page in a comic, like the variant cover or the other cover that they show. I think it is. Yeah,
I gotta do a little scrolling then. Scroll.
Or not a splash cover, but it feels like a more modern comics kind of thing. The other one, I just love the, Leonardo as the big backdrop. And it's weird though, because they have Leonardo and then they have the 4 turtles in front of him. You would have thought they would have put like Shredder back there or Splinter, then the turtles, and that, kind of the arrangement is interesting that Leonardo's on there twice. Right.
Yeah, it's cool. Whatever. It really is.
Yeah, but glad to see they're coming back. Man, there's 1,350 backers for the one where you get both.
That's a lot of backers, bro.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, the other book's a different
there's
book.
like a transdimensional adventure book or something.
Okay. I thought that was the variant cover, and that's not. Okay.
Yeah, like This makes me want to dust off my old book and look at the rules and just start running the game regardless.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think people like you that still have the original one might be very curious to find out. Oh, cool. A lot of the illustrations in it are color now.
Yeah, everything was all black and white except the covers, if I remember right.
That black and white cover is pretty dope, though, with that red background. Because that's more like how the comic originally was, where they all had red headbands and stuff. You know, that's really dope. All right. Anyway,
shut up and take my money.
Yeah, this for sure really feels like one of those that if I had the I mean, I don't really play this stuff, but I still just feel like the nostalgia part of me wants to own it again, you know?
I get it.
I mean, I know I can probably hop on eBay and buy a copy, but still,
I mean,
you know, who knows what I have to pay?
I mean,
it's out of
Brian,
print,
I'm not going to lie. If this is something you want to play, I know a group of people like playing these games. They all come to my house every week.
That's true. All right. Well, this was going to be my official shut up and take my money, because I just saw this today, and as weird as this may sound, right? Like, you know, I'm not like, you know, Johnny, like be around kids kind of guy. Like I'm so uncomfortable around children and
some
whatnot.
call you the opposite of Jared from Subway. Yes.
Right. But one thing I absolutely love, and whenever I've given, like, you know how sometimes people will ask you what book you've given the most? Like, that was one of the questions Tim Ferriss used to ask people. Like, what book have you gifted the most? And for me, it's nothing that's some like, wow, this is a real think piece. Mine is, well, it is, but not for adults. Mine has been the monster at the end of this book. All right.
Classic.
Which is a Sesame Street book with Grover. And, you know, spoilers, you read this and he's talking about a monster. At the very end of it, there's this like gimmicky mirror-ish thing. And you find out that literally you're the monster he's talking about. And I remember as a little children's, this book blowing my mind.
Well, because it broke a lot of the fourth wall. Because like he was nailing the pages shut and stuff, and he's like talking at you, like don't churn the page.
Like, don't turn the page. Yeah. So there's this website called outofprint.com, and they do a lot of like book inspired T-shirts and gear. And I've looked at stuff. There was something I ordered from them years ago, and they also, I believe, they give money to libraries, I think it is, that are underfunded or something to that effect. So, you know, there's a little good to be done with this stuff too. Anywho, so they posted a thing today, and it's a shirt that it shows Grover, and he's doing the "you turn the page" thing. And I absolutely it just brought me such joy, because this is, I'm a full grown adult. This is still one of my favorite.
I just pulled it up, and that's amazing.
They also have the one where he's begging you not to turn the page. They have one of that also.
Whoa.
And, you know, they've got other stuff too. Like, you know, they have, you know, mugs and bookmarks and all that kind of stuff that you can get. And they have a bunch of stuff from different, you know, all sorts of different books. Like there would be the covers of the books or whatever. They have ones that are printed that are from banned books, all that kind of stuff. So it's,
the "you turn the page" mug is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I just love, I just love that book. So seeing any sort of gear made from it, you know, just warmed my heart also.
Yeah,
so,
this is definitely a book that I flipped through a lot as a kid. I also had it. I'm not gonna lie though, another monster at the end of this book, not as great.
Oh, I don't even remember.
It was one that had Elmo and Grover. You know, and Elmo's just an annoying piece of shit. So
yeah. That's fair. That's
Grover though. He's the OG monster. We love Grover.
Yeah, for sure. Grover and Grover for sure, buddy.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. That's why I said this is the book I have given most. I've given it to a variety of people when they have a kid, and you know, for like the baby shower. This is one of the things I'm like, I have to find this and give this to the person, because it's an awesome book.
That's a good one.
And they apparently made I still have not watched it, but apparently for, because Sesame Street's owned by Max now, or HBO, that company, Discovery, whatever the hell they are now. There's an animated version of it somehow that's like pseudo interactive, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna have to look at that because I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it was brought to my attention by someone else who's as big of a fan of this as I am. I can't find it now. I'll have a link in the show notes for it. But at one point, I was seriously like, if I found this book at like a thrift store, I would just buy it and keep it for, I would just. It's one of those books where, like, if somebody gave me like a stack of them to give away, I'd be so happy to give them away. Like, I just love this book so much. So I said, I love seeing little kids when they first get to that page. It's such a great, like I said, it blows their mind. Like what?
Like except that one kid, I always knew I was the monster.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Damien, get out of here, you rascal.
Yeah, he's petting his dead rat. Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's on Max.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go check that out then.
Yeah, but it looks like it might be on. I don't know. This one looks like this has Elmo in it. I don't like that at all.
We don't want another monster at the end of this book.
No, so I don't know.
It's OG or nothing.
Yeah, because I see somebody. It says HBO Max presents the monster at the end of this book, unless maybe they have Elmo in it. So, in Grover talks
some sort
to
of
him.
hybridization.
I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Yep. Anyway, yeah. So that's for sure a shut
that's
up
a good
and take my money. Yeah, this is a shirt. But it was like, I remember stumbling on this site years ago because they have a tote bag that looks like what do you call it? Like, how like when you used to go to the library, they would have the thing in there that they would stamp basically, so you knew when it was due back. Yeah, it looks like one of those, but it's a tote bag, and they did gimmicks like that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then they started doing a bunch of like, a lot of their stuff early on was like, oh, here's a cover of classic books, and I was still like, that's cool, because you didn't see much of that. Now they've taken it to where they're doing quite a bit of stuff now, so it's kind of cool to watch.
Fun little fact for you: we like going to the library. We're actually going this Saturday because we're having, believe it or not, Brian, a celebration of comic books down there, and there's gonna be like artists and vendors and shit. So we're like, well, fuck, cool. We'll check that out. But we went last weekend, and Michelle got this. Well, actually, she got time. Doesn't matter what she got, but she got this book called like A Celebration of Tea. Michelle loves tea. And it was published, I think, in the early 1900s. So I love the main branch because they have all these old books. And it still had one of those stamp cards in it, and the last stamp on it was from like the 60s. Yeah, and it's cool. Was this the last time this book was checked out? How cool is that? I love shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I just thought the design on that was really cool. I can't remember what shirt. God, I don't even know where it's at. I think I got a shirt, and I think it was a little too snug. So I don't. It's like, I know I have it, but I don't remember if it was from a book or if it was just one of their general designs. But I remember ordering something from them a long time ago. So, yeah. And like I said, they give, a small portion of what they sell to, I can't remember what it is. If it's like areas where they don't have a lot of like books or library money, I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
Good shit.
Yep. So, all right. So yeah, that's all I got for the week.
Same. I have a feeling we're getting to that point.
Cue the W
so,
time?
my guy.
Right,
last week, we asked you to name a chore you did when you were little that kids nowadays have never done. On Instagram, it would be posting on Instagram, apparently, because we got nothing. Still got a like, though. It's my favorite.
Yep.
Oh, God. Gross. Meanwhile, on Facebook, this one was not as popular, Brian. Some of our questions.
Yeah.
Diamond top fan, Rambo now. I know.
What? Wow, that didn't take him long.
Well, he's got history.
Yeah, he probably just like aggressively took that spot.
He says, cleaning up dog shit in the backyard. That's what kids are for. And he's not wrong. It's too bad my kids are adults.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot harder to talk him into it.
I see you
now.
shared it. Did you get anything on yours? You did not.
Not
I just opened it up. Yes, we only got one answer over here. That's it, man.
That's it? Jeez. Well, now I understand how Rambo took over Diamond Top
right?
Fan. Nobody else answered.
People letting us down.
Jeez. All right. Wow.
I'm so
sad.
That
would get a little more than that. All right. So Cheeto, as I'm now a ghost, spooky. I should have done the whole show like
and
this.
Brian's recording from beyond.
Cheeto says, I know this can't be said of all kids, but I feel the majorities have never done this. Hanging up and taking clothes off a clothesline. Man, I hated that shit. Yeah, I didn't do that a whole lot. My mom did it because, again, poor, and that was a way of saving some money. But once we had our own washer and dryer in the house, that kind of,
fun fact, Cheeto, I still do that in the summertime because I like the way the clothes smell. Yeah.
Like
dog shit.
God, what else?
Squirrel cum.
Yeah. Sure. There's he says salty selection. He says inflating your bike tires with a manual air pump. Hell, I would have to add air to vehicle tires manually just to help my dad.
Oh my God, I just had a core memory unlock when he said that. You remember that red like stompy pump I had? It was like a red and black braided cable for the air hose. Oh, that was my bug. My bike tire pump.
I didn't really have to worry about that because one, I didn't ride a bike until much later. But also, my dad had a full compressor in our garage. So when we needed air, all I had to do was be like, "Hey, Dad, can you air up my tire?" And he'd go fire up the compressor. Or honestly, where you and I lived, there was a car place real close that we used to just take our bikes over, and they'd air the tires up for free for us. So that wasn't a big problem for me anyway. But I can understand where it would be because I have done it, and it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. But it's like even airing up a ball or something like that, with my dad and my brother both having a compressor. I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, this ball's running low." I'd be like, "All right, I'll take it to the shop with me."
Yeah, I never had the luxury of a compressor until I was older. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my dad had like a full body shop compressor in our garage because, when they closed their shop, it came to our house. Before that, he had one over at my brother's house and at their shop. So like I said, it was, he would air it out. Once it was at the house though, it was like, it was just, all I had to do is take my bike out back and, he showed me how to fire up the compressor and I could just, just 2 seconds. Done. Yep. So I didn't have to, I was fortunate.
Meanwhile, I'm over in my driveway stomping the shit out of my little red pump. I remember it squeaked too. It was like,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's got to annoy the shit out of you. Also, it can't just be annoying that you have to like spend an hour pumping up a bike tire.
Remember, it had that little like stainless metal hook to keep it closed when you weren't using it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that damn thing in a long time.
It's funny because I had a similar one of those. I just never really had to use it because, like I said, I was fortunate that my dad had a compressor or, if my bike tire was getting low, you and I would just roll over to Smitty's and they'd, done. Yeah. So
dumbass me never thought like, I'll just take my bike down to Bryan's and let his dad hook me up. Nope, I'm just out there stomping away.
Yeah. I mean, family members loved it too, because if you had a tire going low or something like that, my dad could patch the tire and then, refill it and you're out the door basically. So, it was, it was nice. I mean, my brother still, I don't know what, I think one of my brothers has one of the compressors for sure. And I think my other brother has the other compressor. I think when my dad died, I think he took it. So, You know, they still do it. So that, you know, my brother's kids probably grew up. Well, I don't know, because I don't know if he was as like, yeah, here, no problem, as my dad was. You know, my dad didn't give a shit. All it was you go out in the garage, you throw a switch, you know, for power, and then you just start out. You had to just wait a couple minutes for it to pressurize, and then done. Yeah. So like, okay, like that's way better than having to stomp on something for half an hour. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for that one. There it is. I couldn't remember where I had this week's Q of the W. All right. So, you know, we as old men bitch about how things, you know, aren't as cheap as they used to be all the time. Not just us. I mean, everybody, especially right now, has been doing it. But yeah. But even more so when people are like, I remember when candy bars were a nickel, you know, and like, it was like, yeah, Grandpa, that was like 50 years ago. Like, yeah, it's like, you know, move your reference a little closer to current, you know, like it wasn't that long ago that, you know, Doritos weren't $6 a bag, you know, like it wasn't that long ago that they were, you know, like $4 a bag, and now they're $6, you know, so that kind of thing. Anyway, so the question for this week: what is no longer worth it because of how expensive it has become?
You don't want that.
Coke. Nope. I'm dumping that out when we're done.
Shit, this is kind of a hard one.
I'll tell you what that Coke
Hell yeah, probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, probably not. Regular Coke, though, as we both see, aces at cleaning and toilet.
You know what? I think since we're talking about it, I'm gonna go with pop and soda wherever you live. The shit's so expensive, and it's really not great for you.
No, that's why I've switched to where like I buy like Big K or Aldi brand or whatever now. I like the only time I buy like name brand sodas or when, you know, I go out to eat, or like this Coke, you know, like something like that.
Company's coming over, you got to impress them.
Sure.
Yeah.
That name brand shit, you know. But it's like, you know, over at my sister's over the weekend, my one sister, you know, they had Mountain Dew and Pepsi and all this, and she was like, God, this stuff's so expensive. I'm like, that's why we quit drinking it. I was like, I like Mountain Dew, and there's no good Mountain Dew replachment in my opinion. Right? Like nothing else. Mellow Yellow is a totally different taste. But you know what I mean? Like nothing seems to, it's similar to like Doritos. Nothing seems to nail that same taste. It can get close, but it's not the same. So I'll grab a Mountain Dew when I'm out or something. Plus I don't want to keep Mountain Dew here and drink it all the time. That's a terrible idea,
true too.
You know, I don't want to have the old meth mouth. But so yeah, we switched to like Kroger brand because it's like $3 a 12 pack versus Coke, which is like $7 for a 12 pack now. It's fucking ridiculous, you know. And it's like, it's one of those things I always said with like, you know, I'd always look at cigarettes and the prices and go, how the hell can people keep smoking, you know? And I'm looking at that with pop because it's like now I'm the guy buying the generic cigarettes.
You're buying the American spirit of soda.
Yeah. Yep, hanging on. I mean, on the upside, you know, that a lot of the store brand pops are pretty decent at least, you know. But it's still like I've been drinking less and less because you know, the cost. So you're not wrong on that. It's a really good one. And that's the thing, is a lot of it's like food related too, you know. It's like there's so much I don't know. It's like for me, I think the one I'll go with just to not be the food guy, right? Because I think picking snack foods and stuff is probably, you know, a great answer because they've gotten so expensive. Like my brother bought my mom a Snickers bar for her birthday because she loves Snickers, and he, you know, he doesn't really eat a lot of candy, and he goes, man, these have gotten small. He's like, they're not as thick as they used to be even. And I was like, no, they're thinner and they're shorter and they're way more expensive. It's almost like $2 for a candy bar now. You know, it's like, I remember you and I going to the Hopewell gift shop getting candy bars for 35 cents. But that, again, that was 30 years ago or 35 years ago. Not that long ago, you still could buy a candy bar for like $1 or so, right?
And that was when you got to be like, do I get a candy bar for 35 cents or do I get 35 Tootsie Rolls?
Yeah, right. He made those decisions. But it's like I was telling my brother the other day that something I noticed the last time I was at the store is I remember not that long ago certain things that were like $2, $2.50 range are $5 now. And I'm like, almost everything you think of, like, oh, I should grab this or I should grab this. It's like, it's almost like a $5 bill. It feels like every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, even like boxes of Little Debbie's and stuff. They're well over $2 now. They're almost $3, I think. That kind of stuff. And it's like, like I said, a bag of Doritos is $6. It's like, Jesus. And that's for the regular bag. That's not like the party size.
Yeah, the family size or whatever.
Yeah, So anyway, so my thing, to be a little different in that regard, is Funko Pops. I've really not been buying many because the price on them at a lot of the stores now is like $12, $13 a piece. And when I first was buying them, they were like $9. And like store exclusive ones are almost all 15 now.
Right.
For just the regular size pops. And that's without any of the other bigger gimmicks that they put out and stuff. So I've been like really like, I've still been grabbing like, wrestling ones that I really want and a couple others, but I've really slowed it down. And honestly, I might be near my end with them, aside from like the wrestling ones. I think I might really focus on just getting wrestling ones that I want. And, maybe if there's one that I'm like, oh, that's so cool, kind of a thing.
Right.
But otherwise, I might be kind of done with them a little bit, because it isn't, one of the things I loved about them originally was it was something you could collect that was under $10.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's like, plus, like if I go to buy one from a website, you picture it's like $12 or $13. Plus, to ship it, it's like $6 or $7 plus tax, blah blah. It's like $23, almost $25 to get one off a website.
Good
now.
Lord.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, this better be something like I really, really want, or I'm not getting it anymore, kind of a thing. So yeah, I think for me, not just me, I've noticed there's a lot of people on Reddit and stuff that have kind of said similar things, that it's like, I just can't anymore because, the price is getting harder and harder to afford.
Like justify
it's only a few bucks. Yeah. But it's like, if there's a set of 4 now, instead of being $40, you're looking at $50.
Yeah.
And again, that's without any shipping costs or anything, so.
Yeah. I can't wait for things to stabilize again.
That's the sad part, right? Is like all the shit that I've read from economists, it sounds like companies have made a conscious decision to not lower things back down.
Mm-hmm.
That's typically what happens as costs come down. Usually we see an ease in the prices of things, and certain things have come down, but they've pointed out that there's certain things like milk and different stuff to where the price is significantly higher than previously.
How about lumber prices? Because we need to build some guillotines.
Yeah. Hopefully they're cheaper than they were. What was that, a year or two ago? Where they were.
Lumber was stupid expensive a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing was they had a thing on the news the other day talking about prices of milk and different stuff. And they were like, oh, the companies we talked to said, supply chain costs and blah. I'm like, oh, bullshit. I'm like, that stuff resolved itself mostly like a year ago.
Yeah.
And we're talking about fucking milk. Unless you live in like Hawaii, you probably have a dairy within your state.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, especially the Midwest. I mean, there's dairy all over the place, like here. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, there's tons of dairy.
Yeah.
So
we love our cows.
Yeah, it's like, so you can fuck off with that. Although in fairness, I don't think our milk prices are as high as they are in some other areas, but still, it's like, come on.
Yeah. No, it still sucks though.
I just don't want to pay $6 for a bag of chips anymore.
Word.
It has really cut down on that kind of stuff though. Like before, maybe we'd grab 3 or 4 of this or whatever. Now it's like, do we really want, this or this? Can we buy store brand?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, like I told you with the Cheetos, that's what I've been doing. I've been buying various store brand Cheetos because, you know, I just can't pay $5 or $6 for a little tiny bag of Cheetos.
I mean, I know I've said it here before, and I said it earlier. Meyer Take-A-Bake pizzas, trash. Meyer snacks, S tier.
Right.
Yeah.
Good to know. You should put that on your food blog that doesn't ever get updated.
That's true. I should.
Yeah. Like update. That's just the whole update.
Yeah. Here you go, losers.
Yep. Just Meyer brand, and just do that for like Meyer brand. Just be like, you know, take and bake pizzas, garbage, snacks S tier. You know, it's like canned vegetables. You know.
All right.
All right. Anyway, it's a good old man rant type of thing to end.
We
the
love
show
old
on.
man ranting.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, there you go. Head on over to saltylanguage.com. Click all the links. We'll have a few this week. Yeah, check out tangentboundnetwork.com, which is the network we're part of.
Nice.
You're looking for a network for your show, come join us. And if you do and you happen to talk with Mark, I don't know, remind him that he's the monster at the end of the book.
And we need snacks.
Yeah, we need snacks. Yeah, we really should connect with him again. We really got to fire up some enthusiasts again. We should.
Yeah, I know. We keep saying that.
Yeah, we just need somebody to make us independently wealthy so we can just do enthusiast episodes.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to reach out to us on social media, I'm starting to get a migraine, and I can feel it. My brain's starting to go to mush.
Oh no, Brian, don't do that.
Yeah, if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can find the show on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me on various platforms at Stunami.
You can find me on Instagram at The Monotony. You can find us on YouTube, hopefully current soon. I'm going to try something new, at Salty Language Pod on YouTube's. Salty Language on TikTok. I do that gimmick. All the Beers Pod. It's a thing, I guess.
So would have heard.
Patreon.com/saltylanguage. Gummy Bear Showdown coming soon.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, depending on how frisky we get, maybe it'll be a seltzer situation or something. I don't know.
Frisky, you say?
Frisky.
Is it? It's too bad there's not a pack of like gummy bear seltzers. That would be a hilarious.
Oh my God, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
I know there used to be gummy fish vodka because when me and Jen were in Florida like 100 years ago, she got hammered on it.
Like Swedish fish vodka?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because it was when her and I were on Rambo's show. It was that night. She bought a bottle of it at I almost said liquor store, but it was like a Walgreens. And because down there you can buy liquor at
every store's a liquor store in Florida.
Yeah. So she bought that and got trashed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, patreon.com/saltylanguage. You got a Gummy Bear Showdowns coming, and I swear we're gonna have more stuff there.
Yeah.
Brian, you have a side gimmick. What's that?
I do. It's called The Crazy Life, and it's me and Henno talking about mental health or mental illness or recovery, addiction, just kind of whatever topic generally within that realm, pops across our radars, and also what's gone on in our lives. Our last episode, we talked about whether or not it's safe to take or to consume alcohol while on SSRIs, and how the thinking on that maybe has changed a little bit. So, yeah, that was a pretty good talk, and then decent article that we had on there too. So if you're into that, come listen to us. If you would, we'd appreciate it.
Nice.
And if not, then, well, whatever. Just be happy making me and Henno cry. It's fine.
Yeah, way to go. Let's see how sad they are.
Jerks.
Fucking jerks.
Yeah. All right. So, dude, I just seriously, brain's gone to mush. There we go.
Mush brains.
I didn't do an insult last week, so my brain is still, not figuring that out. All right, so this week's insult, not really an insult, it's an English swear word apparently, and this one's one that I think everyone has pretty much heard or a variant of, which is Thingumbob.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all heard Thingamabob, Thingamajig, all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but it says that you may assume that Thingumbob meant something similar back in the day. Actually, Thingumbob is a little more vulgar than that, as it can be used to refer to a man's testicles, or as a vulgar way to reference someone when you don't know their name. Because, you know, those two things are so similar.
Yeah.
Hey, nutsack.
Yeah, it's when I see a stranger, I just point and yell balls.
Yeah. I mean, generally someone's going to look.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
You know?
Wow.
So
who knew?
Yeah. So there you go. Your testicles are your thing. You wouldn't think it would be thingamajiggy, though. You think it'd be thingamajiggies if you're referring to testicles.
Yes.
If you're referring to ball sack, then it would be singular, you would think. But
you think
either.
Yeah, you think thingamajig is like singular.
Yeah. I actually think I prefer just yelling out nutsack or something like that, and just
balls.
Yeah. Hey, balls, and so who the
like,
hell?
What?
Like, yeah, you.
Yeah, come over here, you fleshy click clack. Like, what? What are you talking about? How'd you know my given name?
Yeah, that's his actual name, is Fleshy Click.
Yeah.
Oh, what an unfortunate name.
The third.
The third, of course. Yeah, because it's a family name.
Yes.
Yeah. My pappy and my great grandpappy.
Yep, we're all fleshy click clacks.
Fleshy Click. It's like, wow, really? That's a name you want to carry on, huh? I can't wait to have one of my own.
Yep. Junior.
Yep. The IV.
Fleshy click clack the fourth.
Yep. No, he refers to it as the IV.
The IV, yes.
Because he doesn't understand.
Yeah, he has no idea what's going on.
He doesn't understand Roman numerals.
Yeah, I'm a fleshy click clack I.
Yeah.
What?
Like the third? Like, no.
I.
See, it's right here on my license. I. Capital L, capital, or lowercase l, lowercase l, lowercase l. Oh, man. Yeah. So there you go. One quick thing I forgot to mention earlier. I was talking about how I was listening to Adam, or Factually. Sorry. I almost wanted to say Adam Ruins Everything, but this is the newer podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked with, this is a really old episode. This isn't like, I don't know, it's like episode, I don't know, like 83 or 84 or something like that. And he's talking about, or talking with a woman about communications and the evolution of how, or it's like how the internet has changed how we communicate.
Okay.
And it's a really interesting episode because, you know, like she even goes into basically how we all need to just lighten the fuck up when people don't use the right version of your or different stuff like that. Because she's basically like, if you know what they mean, shut the fuck up, basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you're just being an asshole otherwise.
Yeah.
She's like, if you're trying to change, or if you're trying to change the way someone communicates because it makes for better communication, then that's okay. But otherwise, you're just going out of your way to be an asshole.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that online.
Right. Yeah. And I think you and I talked about this forever ago. Remember when we talked about emoji and how as much as we were resistant to them, when you really look at it, at how efficient they are.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, fuck, you know, like, and a lot of the internet speak is, you know, more efficient than.
I mean, I've had full conversations of GIFs, so.
Yeah. Dude, she gets into a whole thing that was interesting because she talks about how when people used to write on postcards, how they would put ... basically to signify that they were going to like start a new thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she goes, you think about it, how cheap, she was using it as cheap and expensive, talking about how like when we text, you can just send a message and then start a new one so that people go, oh, this is a new thought, right? Yeah. You don't have to type it in with proper grammar and blah, 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 right? But on a postcard, you have limited space. So every space is expensive compared to, you know, like on a phone, we can just keep typing forever.
Oh, yeah. I've received that stuff before.
Yeah, you know, so she talks about how basically how we communicate differently written versus on a text message kind of a thing. Like I said, it was a really interesting listen because there's a lot of stuff I hadn't considered about how people just talk very differently on phones versus, you know, or since the internet has existed and phones and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll have a link to that in the show notes too if anyone's interested.
All right.
Like I said, it's a really good listen.
Yeah, sounds.
And I think it helps understand a little more in that maybe we should all just lighten the fuck up a little bit about language.
Can't we all just get along?
No.
Yeah, you're right, obviously.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by
that?
All right. So with that, until next week, have a pumpkin ale. You'll be fine.
Stop it. Don't do it.
You're right. Don't have a pumpkin ale.
Don't have a pumpkin ale. Have like a Marzen.
Well, first of all, I mean, well, no, this is still Halloween. Yes.
Well,
yes.
it's an Oktoberfest. Have a Marzen.
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween. Have an absurd amount of candy and regret everything and then go to bed and wake up and almost shit your pants. You'll be fine.
Wow. That's a lot going on.
It is. Stay diabetic.
No, don't be diabetic. That's no good.
But Brian, all the Halloween candy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And this is America.
Yeah, this is America. Exactly.
I remember when I was watching the other day, there was somebody that there was a line in it and they made a comment that diabetes is the most American disease that you can have. And I'm like, that's so fucking true.
Yeah. I mean, only the one that you acquire by being unhealthy.
Yeah. Not the one you're born with.
The genetic diabetes is whatever. But if you get diabetes, you're you're an asshole.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow. Just call me an asshole to my face, huh? Wow.
Yeah. See you. What's up? What's up?
That's a good spot to stop. I like that.